Along the southeastern edge of Germany stands the Bavarian Alps, one of the most picturesque mountain ranges in the entire world. Home to scenic hikes, alpine villages, and fairy tale palaces like the famous Neuschwanstein Castle, there's so many popular spots and hidden gems to discover and experience in this stunning part of Germany. For the next 2 days, we'll be exploring more of the Bavarian Alps, and if you missed our last video, we actually started our time in the mountains over in Berchtesgaden, where we got so lucky with sunny weather. We did a hike to a waterfall. We also hiked to mountain huts. It was just such a wonderful time. And today we have yet another sunny day. We are actually in Garmisch-Partenkirchen. This is going to be our home base for the next 3 days as we continue to explore the German Alps. So let's head on out to our very first hike. Wow. Another beautiful day in the Alps.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
Amazing. Oh. While we were enjoying our breakfast this morning, our host came over to our table and asked if we'd be going to Zugspitze, which is probably the most popular thing to do while you're in this area, especially if you're staying in Garmisch-Partenkirchen. And we were thinking like, oh, should we go? The prices were just looking a little expensive, and there are just so many other hikes to do in this area that we were kind of, trying to figure out whether to spend the money and go to Zugspitze or do something a little bit more local. And as you can see, we've decided to go with the local option.
Yeah, yesterday when we arrived at our accommodation, we actually went on like a short hike behind where we live, and it was just already so beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that's what sparked us coming out today and just exploring more of this area without spending any money. And so it's been so great, obviously for our budget, but I think just for both of us, this is more so our speed with where we're at.
Yeah.
There's like hardly anyone on the trails. There's only been a few locals with their dogs, and the views are just picture perfect. Like incredible.
The air here is just so fresh. It smells sweet, and I just can't stop breathing it in. We've been sleeping with the windows open every single night, and we've been getting amazing rest.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we went with the local option, but we're gonna continue hiking along because I think there's another lake that
there's like a smaller.
It's like the destination of this hike that we've chosen to do. We are currently surrounded by many different mountain huts, and I actually took a peek on the inside, and it's filled with hay, so I'm assuming that it's for the cows. Something that I've wanted to note is just how remarkable the craftsmanship has been here in Germany, especially things regarding wood. From the houses to the furniture, the way that they build things and construct things, it's outstanding. And I just don't know where this craftsmanship comes from, but I love to witness it, and I love to sleep on the beds that showcase such beautiful handiwork, or to sit on their benches. It has just been so cool to see a love for wood and the things that you can do with such a simple material.
Real quick, we want to thank Exter for sponsoring today's video. Over the past few months, Claire and I have been traveling with our new slim wallets, and they've been super convenient for a number of different reasons. First off, let's say you're in a beer garden and you're in line to get a delicious pretzel. You, in one click of a button, can have your cards available at any time. This has just been so much fun as we're traveling to be able to see which card I want to use, since obviously we use different cards for different purchases in order to maximize our points. But the other thing that's been really nice, and I feel like I can never go back to like a thicker wallet, is just how thin it is. It can slide in my pocket, and even with some of Claire's pants, they can actually slide into her pockets as well. Another thing that Extra has come out with is this little portable tracker that has a solar panel built in. This is just really cool because I've never seen it designed this way. I see them where the battery will run out, but with this, you can actually charge it in about 2 to 3 hours fully just from the sun. Oh, and they don't only have this color, they actually have many colors. In Claire's bag here, she has a leather version, and just like mine, it clicks up, and she has a few euros in there as well. Right now, Extra is offering their 4th of July sale where you can get 20% off or more using code CHADandClaire at checkout, or you can use our link in the description box below. Thanks again to Extra for supporting what we do, and with all of that, back to the video. Another thing I wanted to add was that Claire is reading this book all about like other lives and how you can live, you know, there's so many different ways. Every decision leads to a different path in your life. And I could just see my life as a German worksman somehow. Not that I have the talent right now at all, but just like, that would have been so cool.
Yeah, if his like great-grandparents never immigrated from Germany, you know, like that would be a different life for you.
Maybe I could have built that cabin behind us.
I will say, if they never immigrated, Chad would not be here. Because they would have never,
oh, that's true.
You know, like it would have continued in that way.
Yeah, too logical, too logical.
But yeah, it is cool to be in Chad's like family's country of origin, like it's where his ancestors are from. And I see, you know, some certain things.
Well, like this morning when we were having breakfast, there were just like Claire pointed out that on the table was this bread basket, and the bread basket was lined with this like textile that reminded you of my grandma's textiles.
It's kind of like an embroidered handkerchief.
Yeah, and then also there was like a grandfather clock, and I just remembered from childhood my grandma had one in the house, and it sounded just like the one that was going off this morning. And it was just like, whoa. It's just like little remnants of Germany that are left.
And it's like, it's just those small little touches, because like the more and more your family continues to stay in the US, the more you adopt like the American culture rather than continuing on the German traditions. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty neat. Pretty neat stuff.
Pretty cool. After a wonderful hike, we've driven over about 15-20 minutes to this famous 1920s Olympic ski jump. So basically the skiers would go, they'd be flying down, going on one more jump, and they're just like flying through the air, if that makes any sense. Maybe we can pull up a shot. I think it is literally such a cool sport because they're like just gliding like this. Just like this, yeah. But we actually didn't even come here just to stop here, even though it is cool. We're actually walking about 30 minutes towards a gorge, which I've been looking forward to like all day, and all week, and all month.
We have our tickets to Partenkirchen, which has been welcoming tourists from all around the world for the last 100 years. But this is the famous gorge that we were talking about earlier. Tickets at the moment cost 10 euros. You can either pay in cash or credit card at the entrance, or you can get it online. We decided to just get at the entrance, and there was barely any line, so now we're gonna head on in.
What are you doing? Claire, get in. See what you just did? We'll go in together, it's fine. Why would you do that? Oh my goodness. What would we do if I went first?
You're embarrassing me.
You embarrassed yourself.
right, I get my redemption.
I think with this one you can have unlimited. Oh, help!
That gorge really reminded me of Taiwan's Taroko National Park, but a mini version of it. It didn't have like the marble going up into the sky, but it did have really beautifully carved gray rocks. And what was cool was you could see the water dripping down, so it was like it was raining, and it was just a fun time. But I did want to say, if you do go in, make sure you wear some good waterproof shoes, and one that has a lot of grip, just because the pathway is quite narrow and there's pretty heavy traffic, so you don't want to be slipping and sliding onto other people or into the gorge. So that's my pro tip for you.
Wow, thank you, Claire, thank you.
Afternoons in the Alps are always so relaxing after a whole day of hiking. We decided to just come back to our accommodation, have some tea, read my little book, and just look out at the most amazing view. We've been having such great views while we've been in the Alps, and to have it right from our accommodation, that is something really special. So if you are interested in staying where we're staying, we'll link it down below. But I think we're feeling a little hungry. I think it's dinner time.
Ooh.
This evening we've come back to a restaurant we actually dined at last night, and the food was so exquisite we just had to come back for another round. So yesterday we actually did their surprise menu, where they surprise you with 3, 4, or 5 courses. We did the 3-course one, and everything was plated beautifully. The flavors were out of this world, and today we are ordering from their menu. And so we're getting multiple different things, and I know we're in for a treat because we just asked her for a wine recommendation, and she said that she's gonna bring us a wine that she and her husband had made themselves, and I just think that is so impressive. So let us eat some really good food to end a wonderful day.
That was such a good dessert and such a good meal in general, but it is time to pay.
I need to get a better bookcase. This looks so tacky. Alright. Got everything?
Yep.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye. Well, tomorrow we have another full day, so we're going to end it here and catch you all in the morning. Night-night.
Guten Morgen, everybody. We are currently on our way up to the viewpoint of Neuschwanstein Castle. It was about an hour drive this morning, and I can just hear so many birds chirping. I see the tippy top of the castle in the distance.
You do? Where?
Claire's been out of breath. She's been looking down going,
Chad thinks he's so tall, and he's always like, yeah, I can see the top of things, and then I can't see it, and he's like, oh, you're just short.
oh no. Can she make it? Ooh. We have made it onto the bridge that overlooks the castle. It is absolutely beautiful, but I will say it's a lot higher than I expected, and the boards kind of like bounce as you walk on them, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit like, oh, I kind of get freaked out with heights a little bit more than I used to. We were pretty high up.
Chad's getting older.
I guess so.
Oh, no.
I don't want to die, I like my life. But if I had to die, I mean, beautiful view to go to.
Coming to this castle in the springtime is really interesting because the trees are in every stage of life. Some stay evergreen, some are still dead, and some are coming out with some new leaves. And so the greens that we see in the valley and the mountains, it's every shade of them. And it's just so beautiful to see such diversity in that one color. but this castle is way bigger than what I thought it was going to be. Like, especially driving in, it looks really small from a distance, but when I came onto this bridge and I looked to my left, I was like, whoa, oh my gosh, it's right there. Also, I didn't expect this bridge to be so close, but yeah, this is pretty awesome.
I also just love the water over there. It's so bright. I just want to go swim in it. So the genius behind the castle was King Ludwig II. He actually commissioned it, and he was a very famous king for a number of different reasons. Apparently he was known as the fairy tale king, and he was somewhat of a recluse from society. Whenever he became into power, he didn't really have to lead his country very much, and he spent a lot of his time commissioning artwork, and he basically would like stay up all night and sleep all day. He just kept on like getting deeper and deeper, I guess, into the arts and stories, and I think it's fun to just imagine that he had this whole world going on in his own head, and that's what led to such a beautiful castle. But this castle is actually really special to me just because it really reminds me of Claire in a number of ways. I think Claire, every time that we're traveling together, can just bring so much joy to these little moments, because I'll just be walking and I'm like, okay, we're in a forest or whatever, and she'll find like a flower or a leaf or a tree and just make it like this whole story or this whole thing.
We are now much closer to the castle, so we can see the intricate details that we couldn't see from far away. And there are 6 faces on this side of the castle, and they're looking down at us, making faces, and I like to think that they're taunting us because we're not up there. And they're like, ha ha, you're the little peasants who aren't in my castle. And it's just fun to imagine things, you know me. But if you didn't know, this is one of the castles that inspired the Sleeping Beauty castle. So it kind of feels like an appetizer for what's to come, because in the next video, we're going over to the Black Forest, which has been on my bucket list for so long. And so it's fun to have a little fairy tale experience right now before we go and have more of it.
Beer garden, beer garden, beer garden, and possibly mini golf.
A beer garden a day keeps the doctor away. We have a very hearty lunch today. We decided to get 2 different meat options. So I went with the brewery roast pork that comes with potato dumplings, my favorite kind of dumpling because they're so chewy and bouncy. And then there's also sauerkraut. Chad got the Zwiebelrostbraten, which we haven't had since Austria. It was one of our favorite dishes there. Underneath it is some spatzel, and it's just drizzled over with gravy. There's like 2, it almost looks like onion grass.
Yeah.
Like 2 pieces of onion grass and a pepper on the top. Let's us dig in.
All right, my friends, it is the moment we have all been waiting for.
The moment that Chad has been waiting for.
Chad and Claire play putt-putt. We'll see after 18 holes who is the winner. Got our scorecards right here. Not a bad course, not a bad day. All right, here she goes, everybody. She got it. Don't hit that guy, okay? Ooh. Nice. Wow. Par 3. Oh. So everyone, it is the final putt-putt hole. After a riveting game of lots of twists and turns, I am the victor. I got 73 points and Claire got 98. And I think that's that's a wrap for our golf career at the moment here in Germany. Thank you guys for joining us the past 2 days here in southern Germany. We have had such a wonderful time. But if you're interested in following along as we travel to 50 countries around the world, then hit subscribe and check out the link in the description box below to those travel wallets that we've been loving from Exter. And with all of that said, we'll see you guys next time.